Nearly 500 evacuated to flood relief centers in Kedah. Ex-pathologist sentenced to 18 months jail and 300,000 ringgit fine for corruption. Well, hello and good evening. Thanks for joining us, and you're watching the evening edition of News on 2. And I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos. Our first story. Now, 8 temporary evacuation centers and PPS were opened in Mukim Seong and Bongor in Baling to house 476 people from 137 families affected by the floods following continuous heavy rain since yesterday afternoon. The Baling District Disaster Management Committee Secretariat, Lieutenant Muhammad Faisal Abdul Aziz, said continuous heavy rain for several hours since yesterday afternoon had inundated several low-lying areas, including residents' homes with floodwaters, particularly those located near the river. While Lieutenant Muhammad Faisal said among the affected villages were Kampung Baru, Kampung Lalang, Kampung Lahar, Kampung Surau, Kampung Lubog Batu, and Kampung Tanjung Merbau. Now, all the centers were open at 7 a.m. today. At the Kampung Lalang Hall, Surau Kampung Baru, Kampung Banggol Derom Multipurpose Hall, Surau Kampung Lahar, Batu 48 Community Hall. Lieutenant Muhammad Faisal said they were also monitoring the flood situation continuously and would relocate the affected population as soon as possible to avoid any untoward incidents. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has fixed 28th November for case management to allow former Premier Dato Sri Najib Tun Razak and his lawyer Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah to file further affidavits in their bids to oust former federal court judge Dato Sri Gopal Sri Ram from prosecuting the duo's criminal cases. Now, this was confirmed by senior federal counsel Samsul Bol Hassan, who represented Dato Sri Ram during the case management in the chambers of Judge Dato Sri Mariana Yahya today. Now, Dato Sri Najib and Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi's lawyer, Sarah Abhishekam, also confirmed the deferment to reporters who were told that Judge Dato Sri Mariana had made the decision in her chambers. Well, Dato Sri Najib is facing money laundering, criminal breach of trust, and abuse of power charges in relation to 1MDB, while Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi faces money laundering charges involving 9.5 million ringgit. Now, both are being prosecuted by a team led by Dato Sri Sri Ram. Before the start of the 1MDB Tanore trial, Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi had warned the prosecution from going on with the case as the challenge may result in the annulment of the proceedings. Now, despite this, proceedings continued and have now entered its 25th day as the 9th prosecution witness, and former 1MDB Chief Executive Officer Dato Shahrul Azral Ibrahim Halmi is being cross-examined. The former Tuanku Mizan Military Hospital pathologist Dr. R. Kunasegaran was sentenced to jail for 18 months and 300,000 ringgit fine by the Shah Alam High Court after pleading guilty to an alternative charge of receiving 700,000 ringgit bribe. Judge Dato Muhammad Yazid Mustafa in his ruling said the defense failed to raise any reasonable doubt in the prosecution's case. Now, Dr. R. Kunasegaran was charged for soliciting 700,000 ringgit as an inducement to recommend Raz Medical Supply Sandir and Berhad as a supplier for medicines and disposable medical instruments for the hospital. He committed the offence through a text messaging service or SMS in his mobile phone on August 2013. The court ordered the sentence to commence on the date of arrest, 15 September 2015, and 2 years jail if he fails to pay the fine. Meanwhile, at the same proceeding, the court also acquitted Dr. R. Kunasegaran from 2 original charges, setting aside his 5 years jail sentence and 7 million ringgit fine imposed by the Sessions Court last year. Dr. Kunasegaran is also on trial on a charge of abetting 5 others in the murder of Deputy Public Prosecutor Dato Anthony Kevin Marias in 2015. A restaurant worker was charged at the Ipoh Sessions Court today with terror-related offence, while no plea was recorded from Hafiz Othman, 42, from Malim Nawa, Perak, who was represented by lawyer Muhammad Asif Muhammad Noor. Now, Hafiz was charged under Section 130JB, subsection A of the Penal Code for having in possession 4 magazines related to Daesh activities. Well, Hafiz had allegedly carried out the offence at a house in Kampong Changkat Baru in Malim Nawar on 18th May at about 2:30 p.m. The section carries a maximum 7 years jail or a fine and possible forfeiture of the items upon conviction. Deputy Public Prosecutor Muhammad Ishanuddin Alias requested for Judge Norashima Khalid to transfer the case to the Kuala Lumpur High Court. Judge Norashima granted the request. On 17 May, Hafiz was arrested at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport at about 6 p.m. for allegedly trying to fly off to the Sinai Peninsula in Egypt to join the Daesh militant group, and he was charged at the Sepang Sessions Court on 30th May for the offence. Well, the Pahang Customs Department has crippled a contraband cigarette syndicate following the seizure of 1.8 million cigarettes worth 1.2 million ringgit yesterday. Customs Department Deputy Director General of Enforcement and Compliance, Dato' Azimah Abdul Hamid, said the contraband cigarettes were seized from a truck at the East Coast Highway after receiving information from the public.
Dato' Azimah, however, said the driver managed to escape. Elaborating further, she said, upon inspection of the vehicle, the officer found 9,000 cartons of cigarettes wrapped in black plastic bag.
Rampasan ini merupakan di antara rampasan terbesar dan mungkin pertama kali bagi tempoh 10 bulan di Jabatan Kastam Negeri Pahang ini. Dan Jabatan Kastam Negeri Pahang sebenarnya telah memungut ataupun memperolehi kes bagi tempoh 10 bulan pertama sebanyak 121 kes keseluruhannya, di mana nilai bagi keseluruhan sebanyak 2.049 juta.
She believes the cigarettes were smuggled from a neighboring country for local market. Dato' Azimah was met after visiting the Rompin Customs Department today.
The police seized 480 kilograms of katum leaves worth 8,400 ringgit and 100 bottles containing dark liquid believed to be cough mixture at 2 locations in Gua Musang, Kelantan. Now, Gua Musang Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Taufik Maidin said the seized goods were believed to have been brought in from several northern states and were meant for the markets in the East Coast areas. The police also arrested 3 men aged 32 to 37 in Taman Tropical and at Jalan Gua Musang, Kuala Krai. Superintendent Muhammad Taufik said all 3 suspects were tested positive for drugs and have been charged in the Gua Musang Magistrates Court. News on 2 continues. Now, the World Bank, which released its Doing Business 2020 study today, revealed 3 indicators for Malaysia to improve that could help lift the country's rankings to the top 10 in the following year or year after from 12th spot currently. The 3 indicators are getting credit, enforcing contracts, and resolving insolvency. Speaking at the launch of the report, senior economist and statistician Arvind Jain said the target could be achieved considering the current pace and agenda set by the Special Task Force to facilitate business, and that's Pemuda and Malaysia Productivity Corporation. With a score of 81.50 points amongst 190 global economies, Malaysia has recorded an improvement by climbing to the 12th position from 15th previously. Meanwhile, World Bank country manager in Malaysia, Dr. Firaz Rad, warned the government not to be complacent, adding that the country's performance does not only depend on Malaysia alone, but also depends on what is happening to other countries.
To move forward. So the country and consisting of the government and the private sector, all stakeholders, have to keep their eye on the ball and to continue to reform with a lot of momentum. And as Arvind said, reforms are inherently difficult, and they become even more difficult as you become much better and you climb up the ranking.
Substantially
The Doing Business report advocates regulatory quality and efficiency by instituting reforms.
The case of starting a business.
Meanwhile, HSBC Malaysia said Malaysia can play a leading role in growing Southeast Asia's digital economy, citing the Digital Free Trade Zone, or DFTZ, which was launched in 2017. Well, according to HSBC, the initiative was launched to capitalize on the confluence and exponential growth of the internet economy and cross-border e-commerce activities. While elaborating further in a statement, HSBC said the initiative was also set up to facilitate seamless cross-border trade and enable local businesses to export their goods with a priority for e-commerce. It's now crucial that this model become industrialized across a wider spectrum of technologies and countries throughout Southeast Asia. According to HSBC, Southeast Asia's digital economy was worth $31 billion in 2015 and is forecast to grow to $200 billion by 2025. It said the World Bank has reported that the full potential of the region's digital economy is not being realized due to the pervasive regulatory barriers and constraints at the country level. HSBC Malaysia Chief Executive Officer Stuart Milner said the defining characteristic of successful organically grown holistic standards is that they have to be outward-looking, that's designed for broad mutual benefit rather than to isolate and sustain the privileges of the local market. He said any agreement should allow the free flow of data across borders, a measure that has been proven to foster innovation while protecting the security and integrity of personal information. A total of 1,236 Community Harapan Malaysia, known as KHM centers, were established nationwide so far. And initiated by Department of Information, KHM acted as a platform to convey information on government policies and instilled a sense of unity among the people.
Deputy Communications and Multimedia Minister Edin Shazli Sith expressed confidence that the KHM would be able to promote, enhance and increase local communities' understanding on government's policies, as well as strengthening communication network and cooperation among the people. Such efforts, he said, could prevent irresponsible parties from taking advantage and manipulating issues that can break the society.
Bahawa kesepahaman yang telah dipupuk semenjak daripada mereka sehingga hari ini mampu untuk menjayakan agenda nasional dengan seorang yang tidak lain dan tidak bukan sumber tujuan untuk memakmurkan rakyat dan memakmurkan negara kita.
He said this when opening the Johor Sepakat at Community Program in Pontian.
Lembah Pantai MP Fahmi Fadzil said he is working with Universiti Malaya, UM, and the Malaysia Architect Association, PAM, to develop plans on micro-housing for the UM students. Well, he said the concept could help provide better and suitable accommodations for them.
Elaborating further, Fahmi said the plans would involve several phases, including adaptive reuse of the old bungalows and buildings owned by the UM for micro-housing.
Ini saya lihat adalah satu usaha di mana kalau kita lihat Kuala Lumpur, mungkin ada bangunan-bangunan lama yang ingin kita kekalkan tapi ubah suai dari segi kegunaan. Dan bila kita lihat bangunan-bangunan lama di Universiti Malaya yang dibina sekitar tahun 60-an, 70-an, struktur asasnya kukuh. Cuma keperluan pada waktu ini adalah lebih mendesak untuk menempatkan lebih ramai pelajar.
He said they were also looking at the possibility to upgrade the old residential college or build a new one in the future, adding that the master plan for it would be rolled out soon. Fahmi was met after attending a public lecture program which was delivered by PKR President Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim at the university.
Tenaga Nasional Berhad TNB today denies posting an advertisement calling for an open interview for the position of Auxiliary Police Constable TNB on WhatsApp application. While TNB in a statement today advised the public not to be fooled by the fake advertisement that has so far been detected to be circulating in Perak. TNB also said that it does not use WhatsApp or third-party channels to advertise vacancies. The recruitment of TNB personnel is only made through advertisements on the TNB website. That's www.tnb.com.my/about-TNB/electrifying careers or at jobs.tnb.com.my. And that's all the time we have this evening. Now, top story, nearly 500 people evacuated to flood relief centres in Kedah. Well, the news will be at 11:30 tomorrow morning and not at 12:30 in the afternoon because of the qualifying MotoGP in Australia. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mohammed Amin Carlos. Do stay tuned to TV2 and have a pleasant evening.